What's up, Joseph?
What's up, Charlie? How you doing?
I'm all right. So I got some information from a couple people that tell me the way we open this, if we go, hey, Joe, how was your week? Hey, Charlie, what's going on? That our show sucks, so, what's up?
That is pretty funny, though.
I'm not even going to ask you what's going on for your week because we spent the last fucking 2 days
We
together.
have. We've been hanging out more.
So, yeah, it's nice. It's nice
is, yeah.
to be with sober friends, Joe.
It is.
We actually spent a lot of time with our sponsor yesterday, 3 or 4 hours or some shit, right?
Step work, baby.
Yeah. Well, you did. I just sat there and mocked you.
Yeah,
no,
that's true.
I'm only kidding.
I am. I'm doing.
Yes.
Putting the work in. Step 8. I'm on step 8.
Sick. That's crazy.
Such a wise ass.
I know. Thank God. Thank God.
So what's up, man? What do we got going on today?
None. So it's
4th of July
weekend, man. Big triggers for a lot of people, I would imagine.
Yeah. I actually wanted to read something. Somebody in our Thanks for Sharing group on Facebook posted this. 10 tips to stay sober over the 4th of July weekend.
Really? What are they, Joe?
Number 1, stock up on non-alcoholic drinks, mocktails. Always bring a cooler of non-alcoholic drinks with you to wherever party you go to. Number 2, work out for 30 minutes in the morning. 3, plan ahead. What fun things you can do. 4th of July parades, festivals, maybe go on a hike. Number 4, leave early if and when you feel uncomfortable and always drive yourself so you can get out of there.
That's a good idea.
That's a good one.
Well, you got to do that with a lot of events, actually, when you're trying to stay sober.
Absolutely.
Weddings and parties and shit like that, yeah.
Number 5, skip the whole thing altogether if you know it will be too tempting. Your sobriety and well-being always come first.
Look at that, Joseph.
Number 6, attend an online meeting for support and connection. Number 7, be direct. Tell people you're not drinking this weekend. I never heard of this, but it says you can use dry July as an excuse. I guess that's a thing people do.
I've never been
no shave November.
I've never been dry in July, but all right, let's try it. Dry July, nice.
Number 8, this is important. Play the tape forward to where that drink will lead you to.
Wait, say that one more time.
Number 8, play the tape forward to where that drink will lead you to.
That's a good. I like that.
Do you
one.
know where it would lead you? I know where it would lead me.
Well, it's going to lead me to a blackout state. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Number 9, treat yourself. Indulge in your favorite dessert, show, or etc. And it's pretty funny. Number 10, listen and read a recovery book or podcast.
Really? That said that? That's odd that you brought this whole thing up, Joseph.
You stupid.
Nice.
No, that definitely hit home because, like I said, it's a lot of triggers for people, especially summertime. And, people are partying. People are relapsing. People are going out.
Yeah, we're hearing it more and more, actually, in the last week or so.
It's summertime.
Crazy.
Yep.
I don't know. Again, I don't know. I mean, is summer a trigger for you?
No, life is a trigger for me.
I feel the same fucking way, man.
But I do get it. I mean, it's. Listen, I love the warm weather. I love the beaches. And, people are home from school. People are from, work or whatever they do. But it's just a lot of barbecues and parties. And drinking is socially acceptable.
It is. But, I mean, to me, like, if I was worried about triggers, I'd be in a fucking dark padded room all day long. And you know what? Even being by myself's a trigger, so I don't even know if that would work.
Well, that's why also it's what you do and what you do for your recovery, right? You hit meetings, you talk to your sponsor. It's like you have the tools to, when those thoughts of drinking come up, to not just fucking act on impulse and act on them.
100%.
We know what we have to do if we're in a situation like that. I do like, probably one of the best ones on that list is drive yourself. Because if you feel uncomfortable, get the hell out, get out of there. I was invited to a barbecue with old friends today, actually. I'm not going. Not that I don't want to see my old friends and stuff like that. It's just they're going to be drinking and partying, bro. There's really no reason for me to even be there.
Yeah, I mean, 4th of July is weird because it's really all it is. You talk about going to a gathering, like a wedding or a party, a birthday party or something. There's really not a purpose 4th of July, but to eat like a
there
fucking
is.
pig and drink.
No, the real.
Well, no,
purpose is to
meaning the
celebrate our
party itself. The
independence.
party itself. You know,
Yes.
I know the meaning
Yes,
behind it.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
which is very important.
Yes,
I
which a lot of
I
people
get
have
that.
forgot,
But
that's a
people
whole other
don't.
Story.
People don't say. All they do is drink and blow their hands off by shooting off mortars and shit,
Yeah.
but not really think about the purpose of the actual holiday, which
Yeah.
is important.
Very
and I didn't mean to make you think I wasn't part of that, but my point is, like I said, normally in this type of atmosphere for 4th of July, it's just drinking and being at a barbecue. And if you're having a trouble with being around something like that, then yeah, that's something you should avoid. You should avoid. And definitely, like you said, bring your car with you.
Yeah,
And listen to a
always
podcast. That makes a lot of sense. You should
Well,
play it
that's
at the
why
party.
I do like what they said too. Like if you need a meeting, so like that's. I mean, listen. Personally, I like there's nothing like real meetings. But if you desperately need a meeting or to get yourself, Zoom, hit a Zoom.
I mean,
go into your car and listen to a Zoom.
That's. I agree with that in the aspect of when you're traveling.
Yeah.
You could do a Zoom meeting while you're in your car
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah. Exactly.
I wouldn't suggest chiming in or whatnot or watching the video or anything. But my point is, yeah, I mean, you could at least you realize. I at least I have. I realize how much free time I have now, and I fill that time with like I'm in the car a lot, so I listen to audiobooks. I'm reading a book, The Body Keeps the Score right now. It's about how trauma affects the body and brain, which is kind of cool. Like I said, I kind of like to book learn a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I try to understand why all this stuff happens to us. So have a little more background, a little more education on it. But those are things that I do in my car now. Like, yeah, you can blast fucking Guns N' Roses if you want, but where's that getting you, really?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, sir, you realize how much free time you have, and if you fill that space, your triggers, per se, are a lot less. I mean, I don't know if you agree with that.
I agree. It's also a support group, bro. A bunch of friends who are trying to do the right things.
Yeah, we sat around with our sponsor yesterday with a bunch of sober guys and
Yeah,
ate chicken salad
we did.
and bullshitted, and you did step work while I mocked you from the couch.
You did. Yo, I gotta say, man, there's definitely going through the steps. There's definitely I feel a difference in myself, and it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I've been touched by people. See, to me, my sobriety helps me by talking to other people.
Yeah, which is
And
important.
it's weird, like doing the podcast and whatnot. There's people I haven't spoken to, Joseph, well before you were even born, sir. And
Old bastard.
they're reaching out now. Like I had someone hit me on Facebook yesterday
Yeah.
about him being. I'm not mentioning names, obviously, but him being in recovery, and he was forwarded our podcast from another guy that I haven't spoken to in 30 some odd years,
Yeah.
and it's good to see that there's people out there doing their best and also trying to help me as well. I mean, they're not just saying, hey, thanks a lot, you're helping me out. It's not even about that. It's about, hey, keep your head up, do your steps. He mentioned steps and everything because he listened to the show.
Yeah.
And realized, brought up page 417 in the book about acceptance, which I find amazing because we were kind of talking about that yesterday with John.
Yeah, we were.
So it's a weird scenario how everything loops back. I guess it's God's will, Joe. I think it's God's will.
There's I'm trying to look for it in the group. If you want to feel better, go to meetings. If you want to recover, work the steps. Simple.
Cliche, but simple.
Cliche,
It's
but
funny too.
simple.
You know what? Here's a good one. Friday we were together at the meeting on Friday. Not the speaker, but someone that shared said a cliche that I was like, oh shit. Oh wait. If you the more you miss meetings, the more you miss alcohol.
Yeah,
That was actually pretty
I was with
fucking.
you when I heard that too.
Yeah,
What
that was
the hell
Friday at the
Oh yeah, at the
meeting.
house, at the
Yeah.
fire pit meeting.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's actually
Yeah.
pretty crazy. That's
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a cliche guy, but I found that to be pretty well said, to be honest. That's the first time I've ever heard that. I don't know.
No, yeah, I've never heard that one. That was a good one.
Very interesting. But yeah, so What else? What else is going on this week? Same shit at work. You anything different
Work's
with the week
good,
besides
everything's
Friday and
good.
Saturday? Obviously, because I saw you.
Work is good. Everything's going well, man. Like I said, I've just been focused on step work. That's really because I went through my step 4 a few days ago.
Right.
I realized that I'm a selfish, self-seeking, dishonest piece of shit. Basically.
Oh, that's...
But no, listen, I've done my step work before, but this time it really showed me my part in everything. Resentments that we have towards people, but how I played a role. And what was my cause in it, and what could I do differently?
Cause and effect, yeah, it makes sense, obviously.
And it's never really stood out so boldly before for me. And so, it's
it's funny.
Go ahead.
You're told how selfish you were, and yet you're told to be selfish now. Isn't that
Be
weird?
selfish with your recovery.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're doing it in a different manner now, because now you're looking to help other people in their recovery.
Absolutely.
Because that's selfish for you, because it helps you.
Yeah.
Whereas prior, it was like, fuck everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to just do what I want to do for me. So it's kind of weird how this whole thing kind of
When I'm wrapped up in my active addiction, there is nothing, it doesn't matter what, like my morals, values go out the window. Nothing will stop me till my next one.
Gotcha.
And it's like that. And I shared in a meeting, I was at the pit, Midnight Madness at midnight
Last night?
Yeah, I was there with John and Jackie. But I shared that last night. Dude, I'm so grateful that I can wake up today and that fucking obsession of insanity of just thinking, how am I going to get the next one? How what do I got to do today to fucking support my habit? Like, that shit's gone, bro. It's a full-time job doing that shit.
It is.
And it just pays in misery.
It takes your thoughts from you.
Yeah.
You don't think about anything other than that, and it's like, again, I mean, I have kids. You don't have children.
No.
But
not yet.
Even right, not yet.
That's another story.
Oh Christ, we got to change this podcast to fucking relationships. No, I'm kidding.
No relationships for the first year. Right? That's what I'm learning.
Oh, Joseph.
God. Some are sicker than others.
Some are sicker than others. You fucking... Oh, God. So, I don't even know what... I wouldn't even have a thought process of my kids.
Yeah.
And I think a lot more about my children now. Even... It's weird. My daughter's 12. Like this week, she just texts me, yo.
Yeah.
Like, she never reached out to me.
It's amazing.
I'm like,
bro.
hey, what's up, girl? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And she's taking pictures of her and her friends on a bus because they went on a field trip for their camp or whatever.
Sharing the photos with you and stuff?
Showing me the photos
amazing,
and stuff.
bro.
It's pretty funny. Like, I'm like, who's that? Who's that?
Yeah. That's a blessing.
So, and then, of course, she texted you, Joe, because she was sitting
I was like, who is this? I was so confused.
Yeah, my daughter's sitting next to me. It was on Father's Day, too, by the way.
I was so confused.
My daughter's sitting next to me. He was like, hey, Dad, let me have Joe's number. I want to talk to someone famous.
Yeah.
I go, famous? Yeah, he has his podcast. I go, your fucking father's on it, too. But if you want Joe's number, and then she was texting you, it was pretty funny stuff.
That was funny.
But, yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I always seek the logic in things.
Yeah.
As we had this discussion yesterday, we talked a little bit about God.
A little bit.
A little bit.
All right. We can go with that.
So my theory on things is, I'm not knocking anything. I'm not knocking anyone's recovery, and however everyone gets through their day is great. My theory is, I look at the logic of things, and I look at like
you have to see it to believe it.
See what, Joe?
That's what you deal with. You got to see it to believe it.
Okay, so when you start levitating, then
listen. John said something yesterday that stuck with me, and I always put God with religion, right? Because they go hand in hand.
God, yes,
they do. But you can have a different type of a higher power of a God that doesn't have to be any form of religion.
Understood. Yeah. And I'm trying to comprehend this the way he discussed it with us yesterday.
Yeah.
I get it. I believe in other forces.
Yeah.
And then every time I said that, I got yelled at for the fact that, well, that's God. Well, okay.
Damn, I should have brought my book.
Well, then that should be everybody's situation. Everything, to me, then everything should be about God. Oh, I didn't shit today because God didn't want me to.
You're shot. Listen, it is good that you talk about it because a lot of people do suffer with, or it's not suffer, struggle. A lot of people do struggle with the God thing.
I accept the fact I'm an alcoholic. I accept the fact that I have the process in my brain used to make me run to that. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So now my whole thing is surround myself with the right people and do the right thing. I wake up every morning and I'm happy with the person I was yesterday. But that's now. I never was like that, and I get that.
Yeah.
Is that God's will? I have no idea. But all I can tell you is that's the way I feel that I need to move forward in my recovery, where I want to be honest each and every day, and I want to feel like I did the right thing yesterday, and I'm going to do the right thing today. What forces me to do that? You guys could call it whatever you want. I don't know, but that's the way it is for me anyway. Everyone looks at things differently. That's
absolutely.
fine. But I don't think I have to go to church and pray and do 4 Hail Marys and all that shenanigans to get to the point where I need to be.
You're talking about Christian,
well, how I was
came
brought
to
up.
believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. A power greater than you. That's all it's got to be, bro.
I understand that.
So do you believe that there's something greater than you that's out there?
Well, I'm not the end all be all. I know that.
Okay, so then there you go.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
But I get what you're saying. You struggle with religion. You don't necessarily struggle with God. That's what I got out of yesterday for you. You don't really struggle with a God. You struggle with religion and how they're so
What I got out of yesterday was I got to stop being an asshole.
Well, I mean, that's a fact. I wish I brought my book, man, because I've been really diving into
That's my
it,
book right there.
I know, and I'm trying to find this thing I wanted to read, but I might have to do it on the next episode because I don't see it. But
So, are you how's your mood today, Joe? How's
fantastic.
July 3rd for you?
July 3rd's going very well. I'm sober. And that's just another day for me to work on myself and grow. Every day I'm sober, and every day I can do the next right thing is a opportunity for me to grow spiritually. I got a spirit. We're spiritually sick people.
Yes.
And dude, this program is making me learn who the fuck I am. And I've numbed myself for so many years, bro. And I was talking about it a little bit. I don't necessarily know if it was like a certain type of trauma, and they say more will be revealed as you stay clean and sober.
Right.
And it is, because more shit's starting to pop into my head. But there's no real trauma in my life that happened when I was a kid that I could be like, this is why I am. This is why I'm an addict and an alcoholic, But listen, it is what it is, and it's I've accepted that, and now I want to work on that and grow from that. Dude, addicts and alcoholics are some of the most smart, intelligent people I've ever met in my life. We just have a fucking demon, bro.
Well, that goes for anything in life. You could be a narcissist.
Yeah,
you could be
exactly.
a whatever. I mean, you're battling mentally.
Yeah. And I struggle with all that self-worth, self-esteem. You got to see my character defects list, bro. I can fill a few pages.
Couple
you can
notebooks.
throw some on there too. Yeah.
Couple notebooks.
Yeah. But,
well, like I said, I mentioned the book I'm reading now is about trauma.
Yeah.
See, the reason for me to read this book was a lot of people. All right, so I'm going to put it this way: I don't believe trauma is the reason to become an addict.
No.
So I have trauma in my life, and that you have trauma in your life. The people that have had not the same. No one ever has the same trauma, by the way.
Yeah.
So you can't. I can
Everybody's
never.
story's different.
I can't relate to anyone else's trauma. I could understand it. That's the best I could do.
Yeah.
I can never feel what you feel about what happened to you. I mean, your mom could have called you a piece of shit when you were a kid, and you'd feel that that's trauma. When someone else's family died in a car crash.
Yeah.
So everyone has different levels of trauma and how they react to it. My point is, there's people that have worse trauma than me in life.
Yeah.
But they didn't turn to addiction because of
That's
it.
true.
So to me, trauma is not a. It's to me, it's an excuse, and believe me,
Trauma's an excuse.
I used my trauma as an
trauma's
excuse to
Yeah.
be an addict. People would say, "Well, why do you drink so much?" Oh, because this happened.
Well, you just yeah. I
Meanwhile,
get what you're saying.
My traumatic event happened over 20-something years ago.
Yeah.
I was still leaning on that for so long. That's not why.
Mm-hmm.
You know why I drank one day? Because my boss yelled at me.
Oh yeah, well I stubbed my toe.
Or
We really
or
fucked up.
I
No,
just
I get that.
I was sick of being sober for a full day, so I was like, "Fuck it, let me drink." That was the reason why. My traumatic event wasn't in my head every single fucking time I drank.
Yeah.
But people say that, and again, I'm not knocking someone with trauma in their lives,
Yeah.
and that you're struggling with it. But that's something you need to speak to someone about, and that's. Again, the book I'm reading explains the effects of trauma on the body and brain.
Yeah.
So it actually makes you realize that something is triggered now that, if you were beaten as a child, maybe getting beat up later in life doesn't bother you anymore because you shut that filter off because of that.
Yeah.
But again, if you were beaten as a child and you're beaten up as an adult by your husband or whatever the case may be, doesn't mean you're a drinker either, or an addict, I should say. So my point is, I don't really know what my point is. My point is that it's a kind of a cop out, and I feel like I copped out in life using my traumatic event against, telling people I have a fucking disease, I have a problem, and I drink because of that.
Yeah.
It's not because of what happened.
No,
I grew up in the
I get what you're saying.
I grew up in the fucking suburbs of Setauket in the 80s and 90s. We weren't gangbangers, bro.
No,
We
I get
could
what
act
you're
like
saying, bro, I
fucking,
do.
hey, Joey, what's going on? Yeah, I came from the streets, and that's not what happened.
Yeah.
I was an upper middle class family, and something triggered me, period. Whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So enough about my rant.
No, I completely agree with everything you're saying. I wanted to read yesterday at the pit. We read this missing link, and it said right here, following the spiritual path made a major difference in my life. It seemed to fill that lonely hole that I used to fill with alcohol. My self-esteem improved dramatically, and I knew happiness and serenity as I had never known it before. I started to see the beauty and usefulness in my own existence, and tried to express my gratitude through helping others in whatever ways I could. A confidence and faith entered my life and unraveled a plan for me that was bigger and better than I could ever imagined.
That's profound.
I've always felt like I had a hole that I had to fill,
Yeah.
Like I always felt like something was missing, like we're like chameleons, bro. Like, when I moved out from Brooklyn here, I had such a hard time trying to fit in on Long Island, and, and I hung out with bad kids, because for acceptance, and I took that and ran with it, and the first time I took a drink or a drug, that there was like a security blanket, and I was like, I want this all the time, But I agree, like, it doesn't have to be necessarily no pinpoint on trauma, Maybe some people's trauma can make the situation worse, but we're just wired differently, bro. And it's like when you speak to a normie, you don't get, like, when you speak to addicts and alcoholics, they're like, I get it, I understand, You speak to a normie about some of the shit we talk about, and they're like, you need a padded room.
All right. So someone I know for 30 some odd years, 30, God.
Yeah.
I'm fucking old, but had a major traumatic event this week.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to get into detail because I'm not airing someone else's dirty laundry, but let's just their own child was very sick and very in a bad way and was fighting for their lives.
Yeah.
That person didn't turn to alcohol and drugs to calm their nerve. They stayed strong for their kid.
Yeah.
And things have turned around now. And to me, that's inspirational to me. Like, see how other people handle situations so much better than I used to.
Yeah.
Now it makes me feel like, wow, that's important to me to continue to do that.
Absolutely.
And when people reach out to me and yourself as well about the show or whatnot, or hey, I can't believe you're going through this. I haven't talked to you in fucking 30 years. Blah blah blah. To me, that's inspiring to me.
Absolutely.
And it's like, wow, it's amazing to see other people in the same position and working just as hard as I am.
And some people you never even know.
Of course not.
You know,
of course
like,
not.
You know, it's we get a bad rap.
Buddy, I have a friend of mine who reached out to me recently. He said his best memory of me is a party at my house. I don't remember fucking having a party in my house when my parents were away.
Yeah. This is from the missing link too. I stopped at a local bar, began the evening. I ordered a beer from the waitress, and as I took the first sip, something was immediately different. I looked around me at the people drinking and dancing, smiling and laughing, all of whom were much older than I. Suddenly I somehow felt I belonged. From there, I made my way to the university where I found hundreds of other Americans celebrating New Year's Eve. Before the night was over, I had started a fight with a number of college-age drunken fellows and returned to the hotel stinking drunk and riddled with bruises. Ah, yes, what a grand evening it was. I fell in love that night with a beverage.
That's
You know,
pretty
the
insane.
first time I took a pill, it was like my brain's always running, bro. I'm an overthinker. My brain is constantly going.
We all
when
are.
I first took a fucking pill, it was a warm, like, this is what I've been looking for.
Well, let me ask you a question.
You know?
The weird thing is, that first time you took that pill and you got that sensation that you felt, you chased that forever and never got it again.
No.
But we chased
And that's
that.
what we do.
Yeah.
And I've realized when you speak of chasing, growing up, before I even picked up a drink or a drug, I chased, bro. I went from one hobby to another. Always trying to fill a void. Always trying to fill something that was missing inside me.
Right.
You know? And it's, you know, I don't know exactly what it is, but there's just something that we're missing, like a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, but don't you feel you're filling that void now? With
100%.
stable mental health,
1000%,
and with surrounding yourself with the people that are struggling the same way as you,
and that's why I truly believe. Listen, like you too, we shouldn't even be having this podcast with the way we've lived our lives. People are dropping dead every day, especially now with all the fentanyl everywhere, and that honestly was what feels like it gives me purpose to continue and to help the next person.
You know what that is, Joe?
What is that?
It's God's will.
Yes. Fucking wise ass. But dude, for real, dude. Like I met two other people at the Midnight Mandus, and they're coming around, and you know, I showed them the Facebook group, and you know, get involved, and we can't do it alone.
No.
You know?
No.
You can't do it alone.
What really always hits me hard, and again, I'm not the meeting 90 fucking whatever guy.
Yeah.
But it always hits me hard when there's a guy 24 hours show up at a meeting.
Mm-hmm. The kid last night, and when I say kid, he was like 23, had 8 days back.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing that you find that will to go to a meeting because you used to use that will to use. Mm-hmm. So it's
absolutely.
It's
especially on a Saturday night, 4th of July weekend.
Great.
You got 8 days and you're at a fucking meeting, bro.
Well, that means that means that guy was struggling.
Yeah,
and he didn't want to go somewhere else. I've never heard of someone, and again, I'm not a meeting guy. I've never heard of someone go to a meeting and then drink after. I haven't heard that once.
I've heard that.
I haven't.
No.
So, to me, it's good. You know, in my past, when I was struggling, trying to get sober, going to meetings, I would say, fuck it, let me go to a meeting. And I'd leave the meeting and go home.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to liquor store. I wouldn't pick up, or I wouldn't, you know, because
that's what the meetings do, bro. Like, when I go to a meeting, if I'm having it's like my spirit gets a recharge.
Makes sense.
It grounds me. You know, it remembers, like, perfect example. Last night I was watching Old School, right?
You're right.
And they're fucking doing beer bongs, and I'm like, damn, that looks fun, right? I didn't act on the thought or nothing, but right after that, I went to the pit, and I was like, dude, I'm sick, bro.
I love you,
know?
man.
Yeah,
You got a dart in your neck.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
Crazy. You're
But
crazy.
it's just like, and yo, that's okay. You know, it's okay to have those thoughts because we're addicts and alcoholics. You're gonna have thoughts. The thing is, you don't act on them.
Right.
Like that said in that when we started this episode, that what the hell, I can't talk. Those
10 steps.
those to not drink. You know, is I'm losing it right now. What did it say? Right here. It said, plan ahead, play the tape, bro. Play the tape forward where that drink will lead. And I know if I pick up that shit, dude, I'm gonna feel such guilt, shame. Like,
Disgusted.
I'm not gonna have fun. And then I'm gonna be like, well, fuck it now.
Well, you've done it right.
You know?
Well, we've both done this before.
Yeah. I'm a chronic relapser.
You get disgusted from it.
Chronic relapser, and I'm done doing it, and I'm tired of doing it. And I say it all the time. What scares me the most, my biggest fear, is being 60 years old and getting 30 days. Like, I want to get this now.
Like me, is that what you're saying?
You're 60?
I feel fucking 60.
But seriously, that's my biggest fear. Honestly, I'd rather just hang it up, bro. Because I don't want to live that misery anymore. I can't do it anymore.
No,
I am drained out. And I'm never going to have a normal life and live the way I want to live if I continue fucking drinking and drugging. It's just, I've accepted step one wholeheartedly.
100%. I get that.
It's, and now I just want to get better. I want to help myself so I can help somebody else. That's what this program's about. It's a fellowship. You know?
100%. 100%. Yeah. Don't drink and go to meetings.
Don't
as the
drink and
boss
go to
man.
meetings. Are we going to start ending our podcast like that? Don't drink, go to meetings.
Yeah, well, that's the boss. The boss man
The
instills
boss man.
that. But yeah, all right, guys, have a happy, safe 4th. If you
Happy 4th of July, everyone.
if you try to not pick up, don't.
Yeah, you can message us, email us too. If anybody's struggling this weekend, needs somebody to talk to.
Hit us up on Facebook, anything. We'll get back to you right away. I promise.
Join the Thanks for Sharing group on Facebook. Charlieandjoeyshare at gmail.com if you want to reach out and email us.
100%.
And we'll see you next week.
All right, later kids.
All right.